Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. So happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading will be a general intuitive monthly tarot reading focusing on the energy surrounding us during the month of March 2018. For this reading, I'll be using the Crystal Visions Tarot deck. Any clarifiers, if I need to use them, I will be using the Klimt Tarot. It's the pocket edition, right, of the Klimt Tarot. And the two oracle cards for this month, I will use the Soulful Woman oracle card and one additional one from the Power of Love deck by James von Praagh. Okay. As always, I'd just like to remind you that these readings are general in nature. The messages may or may not resonate with you. I would suggest that you check out, besides your sun sign video, also take a look at your moon sign and rising sign, because some months, one video might not resonate, but the others might, or, all three of them together will give you a more holistic view of what's going on during the month. And if you would like a truly personalized reading, the only way to get that is to order a private reading from me. If you're interested, you can take a look at my site, changingphasestarot.weebly.com. There you'll find pricing as well as the types of videos, the video readings that I offer. Or you could email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. Just a couple of quick announcements. This month of March, I'll be putting out 2 full moon spread readings. These are in addition to the regular readings that I usually put out during the month, because this month of March we have 2 full moons coming up. So the first one is on March 1st, and the second one of the month, the blue moon, will be on March 31st. So be looking out for those, and also be looking out for the drawing giveaway video I will be posting. So if you're interested, it explains what you need to do to get entered into the drawing. I usually do 1 free drawing at the full moon each month. This month there'll be 2. Last month we didn't have any because there weren't any full moons, and we had 2 in January. So watch that if you're interested. You could enter to win one. It's a 1-question reading, but I usually do just similar to what the monthly reading looks like. I do a 10-card Celtic cross spread, pull clarifiers. So if you're interested, take advantage of the giveaway. All right, I will stop for now, and we'll see each of you for your reading. Have a wonderful month. Hi Pisces, I hope you're doing well. I'm here to get into your March 2018 reading. As you can see, I have already meditated and shuffled off camera. I have laid out the spread, really just to try to save some time. So let's go ahead and get started. I think I might need to lower my camera just a little bit. Okay, there. So we have, let me pull this over. I'll go through and show you all of the cards, and then I'll get into, the messages coming through for each card. But at the center of your reading, you have Major Arcana, number 21, the World, which is crossed by the 8 of Cups. At the foundation of your reading, you have Major Arcana number 5, the Hierophant. In the past position, you have Major Arcana number 7, the Chariot. Crowning your reading, you have the Knight of Pentacles. In the future position, you have Major Arcana number 12, the Hangman. You in the reading appear as the Ace of Swords, and I did pull clarifiers on the Ace of Swords, and so I'll get to those once we get to this part of the reading. In your surrounding, in your environment, you have Major Arcana number 13, Death. Your hopes and fears, you have the 9 of Cups. And the outbound energy, as you leave the month of March, heading into April, we have the 2 of Wands. And the card that was at the bottom of the deck, the overall energy for the month of March, you have the King of Wands. Okay. And the two oracle cards, which I'll give you the full meaning for them at the end of our reading. You have from the Power of Love deck, freedom. You are releasing any self-imposed restrictions or perceived limitations through the loving energy of openness. And from the Soulful Woman deck, you have card number 45, Time of Fallow. Creative manifestation occurs more easily when I have nurtured myself and honored my time of fallow. Okay, so starting off with, let's start off with the overall energy here of the King of Wands. So, and also before I say anything about that card, I will say that your reading has a lot of major arcana cards. So you have 5 out of the 10 cards of the main reading here, the main spread. 5 of the 10 are major arcana. So obviously there's a lot of divine intervention at play this month for you. Divine timing, divine movement, divine endings, right? So a lot of very powerful messages coming through. And we do have a powerful figure here as the overall energy, this King of Wands. The suit of Wands has to do with, it's the day-to-day matters. So it's, our jobs, the work that we do, it's creative endeavors. It can be, chores that we do around the house. It can be our own determination and drive and ambition and passion and fire for getting those, things done. Can be creative endeavors. This King of Wands, so when a king or queen or when any of the court cards appear, and you do actually have, let me see here. So you have the Knight of Pentacles, which is a court card, and then the King of Wands. When a court card appears in a reading, this can actually be a person who is playing a significant role during this month with you or for you. So if this is a person, and typically this would be an older fire sign, male or female individual. In these general readings, they're not gender specific, but definitely, an older individual fire sign. So it could be a Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. And this person, especially the kings and queens, when they appear, they've really mastered that particular suit. So this individual, he'll be somebody who's mastered the suit of Wands. So he's very creative, very ambitious, very bold, kind of a go-getter. He's not afraid to take a risk, right, to start off on a new adventure. He's kind of a risk taker, but he also has great vision. You see, in this card, he's, besides being, sort of fearless, he also has this crystal ball. He has great vision, great, great insight. He's a very magnetic character. He's very, he's able to sort of inspire other people as well. Other people are inspired by his creativity, by his drive, by his ambition. He's kind of a born leader. So again, this could be somebody who's playing a prominent role in your life during the month of March, or this could be a situation, or this could be you taking on the energy of the King of Wands. And we'll see how this ties in with the rest of the cards as we go through the reading. But, it's a very strong, very sort of powerful, very fiery and passionate and, exciting energy for this month of March. So at the center of your reading, starting off with the World card, the World card is in the Major Arcana. It's the last of the Major Arcana cards, right? And it really speaks of, or what it represents is the culmination of the Fool's journey. So the Fool begins his journey with the 0 card, and he sets off, and he has that, blind, sort of takes that blind leap of faith, has that, he's kind of fearless, he sets off on this brand new journey, and he goes through all of the trials and tribulations until he makes it through to the World card. So the World is it's a significant ending, right? When the World card appears, it's not just because we have in the minor arcanas, we have 10s, which generally represent endings. The World card is a very significant ending. So it's usually, it represents a long term, something very long term that's been going on for quite a long time in your life coming to an end. So completion of a very long cycle in your life, a long chapter. Could be a relationship, could be a very, a long-term like relationship or marriage, could be within the work sector. You've been at a job for a very long time. Whatever it is, it's an ending, but it's more than that. It's about it. What it heralds in is a new beginning. And we also have over here in your environment, that's kind of echoed with this death card, because death, what it basically represents is endings and new beginnings. So we have two major arcana cards really quite prominently showing here for you, significant endings and significant new beginnings. And what's crossing this world card is the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups card is we usually think of it as a transition card, and you can see that. And I do see movement in your reading. We have the Eight of Cups is the crossing card, but at the same time, there's sort of a stop and start energy going on with your reading, because you have actually, sitting across from each other here in the past position, the Chariot, which is a very fast-paced, non-stop, pushing ahead, actual physical movement card. And then facing that, mirroring it, is this Hangman, which is the complete opposite. It's the taking time out. It's the hanging, being suspended, but in order to gain a new perspective. But it's definitely, it can be a delay, not starting something. So it's kind of opposing energies here. But going back to the Eight of Cups. So cups, the suit of cups, it has to do with, when obviously you are a water sign, Pisces, so it's water energy. So it has to do with feelings and emotions. It has to do with our relationships. Also has to do with intuition, right? The suit of water, it definitely speaks of intuition as well. But it's our relationships, how we interact with other people, how our feelings and emotions kind of push us through life and, affect the different relationships that we have. And the Eight of Cups, we think of it as a transition card, because it just represents, as you can see, show you her again, the woman. There are all of these cups spilled out. You see, they're all sort of laying on the ground. Whatever this is, it no longer serves her, right? She's no longer emotionally fulfilled in this situation, in this relationship, in this job, if this is in the job sector. But, she's walking away from it. And even though, that it can be a little sad, and whenever you move away, it's always kind of like you leave a little piece of you, behind in that place. So there is a sense of sadness, as you do that. But she is heading towards, something that is going to be more emotionally fulfilling, that's going to be more in line with, what she is looking for now. And with this crossing the world card, this ending and beginning, it definitely seems, that for some of you watching the video, there's a significant ending occurring. And it has to do with you walking away, possibly, you might be a little sad about it, but you want change. And so you're walking away from something because you know that, what lies ahead in the future for you, what's coming up is going to be more fulfilling. So transitioning out of something that is not fulfilling you and heading towards something brand new. At the foundation, we have this Hierophant figure, and the Hierophant in the in the major arcana, he represents a number of different things, but more than anything, it has to do with tradition, tradition and order. And obviously he does represent, a religious figure, and we see all of the different religious symbols behind him. So we usually associate him with those, the large religious institutions. Doesn't necessarily have to be religious in nature, though. It's also sort of large institutions, such as the government, such as like the court systems. But it's all about, law, order, rules, following those those rules and the laws that society puts into place. And then, like understanding that there are certain laws that do need to be followed, for the good of everybody. So it's sometimes when the card appears, there it represents that there's a need to unlock some hidden truth. Sometimes when the card appears, it's kind of a more of a caution, or it's encouraging us to take a sort of a, what am I trying to say, like a more of an ordered approach to something. Do whatever it is by the books. If you're planning on doing something, don't try to cut corners. Do something by the books, right? Go step by step and do those things. Sometimes it has to do with needing to conform, especially if you're in, for example, if you work for a large corporation. And a lot of times we have to conform, to the way that things are done in that corporation or in an institution, or dealing with court systems, or dealing with, like in a large institution such as universities, the government. There's always a need to sort of do things by the book and follow the rules. Sometimes, he can also represent, as he is a religious figure, can be something to do with marriage, possibly to do with, since we have the beginnings and endings for some of you, and this isn't going to resonate for everybody, but there might be, some of you dealing with the court system, or a judge, or a lawyer, or just dealing with something to do with a marriage, or possibly a divorce. But that's that's what's at the foundation. Now, in the past position, we have this fast-moving energy of the Chariot, and the Chariot, the main word that I associate with the Chariot is just pushing ahead, and victory, and but that victory being more, I always see it more as like your own personal kind of victory. It's because you see that the woman here, she is actually holding the reins. And a lot of the decks, the Chariot card, it's represented by, the person, male or female, controlling, charging downhill and controlling the two, the light and dark energies here, the yin and yang, the opposing forces of the light and dark horses, but without even having any range, so it's all about you being in the driver's seat, you taking control, you having some type of authority, you achieving your own goals, but through hard work. There's a lot of hard work and discipline and perseverance that goes into this card. Yes, it is. It is a victory card, like I said, but it's about you having some type of victory because you decided to take matters into your own hands. It does appear in the past position. For some of you, there could have been, in the month of February, even going back to, into the month of January, could have been some type of movement. There could have been some type of victory. You taking matters into your own hands, you physically moving across land, because the Chariot is usually, I associate it with land movement as opposed to other cards which are more, across water movement. This one is more of a land movement. So this could have been you actually moving to a different place, taking matters into your own hands and moving to somewhere else. And what's crowning your reading, this Knight of Pentacles, like I was saying over here with the King of Wands, this could, since it's a court card, this could actually be a person. If so, then typically this would be a middle-aged earth sign individual, not gender specific, right, male or female, but a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo individual. I usually tend to view the Knights more as events when they appear, because the Knights are the ones who come in to act on something. So it's more of this event of this Knight bringing in news of something, right? Or going after something, or acting on some news that the Page of Pentacles brought in, right? Because usually the pages bring in the news and then the Knights come in to act on it. Out of all of the Knights, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving. He's the slow and steady wins the race. So he, he sets his sight on a goal, and he plods along, keeps his eye on the prize, and he, he doesn't veer from his path. He knows that eventually he will achieve whatever his goal is. The Suit of Pentacles deals with the earthly, the material things in life, those things that we can touch and feel, the tangible things here in the material realm. And so we usually associate it to our jobs, the work that we do, the money that we're paid for the work that we do, our finances, our home, family, education as well, knowledge as well. But he brings, this Knight, he comes in to, again, to sort of, he's going after, and we're dealing with Pentacles, so this could be, either like a news of something related to your finances or career, whatever it is, it's a very persistent and very, very trustworthy and loyal kind of energy with this Knight of Pentacles, and it's all about just kind of putting your head down and charging or heading towards whatever the end goal is. And the page before the Knight, it really speaks of, yes, it's news of, it can be news of a new job or news of, some type of financial gain. But there's a lot of prosperity kind of surrounding this Knight of Pentacles. But it's also, there's also a lot of financial stability surrounding him. He's kind of plodding along, and he's a very careful and cautious individual. On the negative side, sometimes this person, the Knight, can represent kind of a workaholic, somebody who's too obsessed with working. But in the positive, or on the positive side, he's a very good energy to have, because he's determined, and he will make it to his goal. Now, what I was saying over here with this, opposing energy of the Chariot, we have in the future position, Major Arcana number 12, the Hangman. And this is, sometimes it can represent a delay. So, if this is moving here and, waiting possibly, or trying to go towards this new job, or working towards increasing your finances, when the Hangman comes in, it can be a delay in that happening. You see that he's suspended here. He's tied in the tree. He's upside down. And it looks as though, he's been put in this position. But it's actually, quite the opposite. He has allowed himself, he has surrendered to being in this position, because he knows that it's necessary in order for him to see things from a different perspective, to gain a new insight, to possibly see a situation from a new point of view. If there's a decision to be made, a lot of times this card, it shows that there's a need to look at things from a different point of view, or, so this time out, or this period of suspension here is definitely, it's necessary. So possibly, with this moving and this new beginnings, and we do have the new beginnings, actually, looking across this line, it's just Chariot, World, Hangman, Death. It's kind of like movement forward, new beginnings, suspension to get a better idea of what's the next step, and then new beginnings again. So like I said in the beginning, it's kind of stop go is what I'm getting from this. But this, this time out, the seeing things from a new perspective, it's definitely, it's definitely needed. And this is coming up in the future. So as we head towards sort of middle to end of the month of March. Now you are here as the Ace of Swords. So Swords energy, it represents the intellect. It has to do with its cerebral energy. So it's our thoughts. It's how we communicate our thoughts, right? How we communicate with others. And aces in the tarot, they are yes cards. So if there's, if there's an answer that you're you've been waiting for. This comes in to say, whatever the answer you're looking for, the answer's yes. The ace is also, they're divine gifts, right? It's sort of this divine gift, this hand extending from the universe, offering this divine gift. And in this case of swords, we usually associate it with clarity, so this sort of divine gift of using your intellect, of figuring something out, of being able to, if there's a conflict to resolve, being able to resolve that situation. And ultimately achieving victory. And we also have the Chariot card, even though it is in the past position, but we have two cards which are sort of yes and victory cards here. And again, the Ace of Swords, really kind of repeating or echoing the messages that we have over here. The Ace of Swords can also have to do with new beginnings, new points of view, seeing, having clarity on something, gaining a new perspective, having a new point of view, and definitely new beginnings. So lots of repeater messages coming through here for you for the month of March. Now, the three cards that I pulled as clarifiers, and I apologize because they are a little bit difficult to see. These are from the Klimt Pocket Golden Edition. So they're tiny cards, and they're also golden. They're very shiny, so they don't always show up. But we have in the past position, this would be the Knight of Pentacles, which is actually a repeater card of what you have. So a repeater message, followed by another Knight, the Knight of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. So, again, it really just echoes kind of what I was getting off of the other cards. There's, there could be this news coming in, moving ahead with regards to either a new job, something to do with your finances, possibly a new business endeavor, business venture, another new offering coming in with this, with the Knight of Cups. Yes, they could be people, but I still feel this is more just events, situations going on. So this would be, it could be that this new, whatever this new thing is coming in with the Knight of Pentacles, it's also going to bring you a lot of happiness, a lot of emotional joy with this Knight of Cups card, right? This new beginning, this new offering is going to bring you a lot of joy. And then how, in the outbound position, I feel that this is you taking on this energy of the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is she's a very financially savvy individual. She's also, she's kind of like, the typical Earth mother. So she's very, she likes to take care of everybody. She's very resourceful. She's good at using what she has. She's good at making money. She is very financially stable and secure, but she's also very resourceful. So she's, sometimes she can, especially in this particular deck, she can speak of some type of inheritance, some type of good judgment, but after thinking things over, which does also tie in with the Hangman card here. So there could have been some decision either, related to a new job, possibly news of a new job, that required some type of, for you to think over something, for you to ponder on, whatever it was. This night, there could be some type of, we do have victory cards here, and then victory here. There could be some type of success, some type of victory with regards to your finances, your career. There could definitely be news of that coming in as well. And then with the, the Knight of Cups, like I was saying, the Knight of Cups really speaks of, or in this deck, he's referred to as the Knight of Chalices. But usually this Knight is about, yes, it's about offerings of love, but it's also, it has to do with searching, and it's kind of like searching for the Holy Grail, but this could have to do with searching for this, this job, this recognition from this new job, possibly, that's going to bring you more financial stability. And again, we have in your environment, there's beginnings and endings. So we have the Death card here, the Major Arcana. And I mean, a lot of people get, or they might get a little scared seeing the Death card appear in a reading. But all death is an ending and a new beginning, right? If for those of you who believe in reincarnation and believe in souls reincarnating, death, physical death, is only the ending of this one physical lifetime, but it's a beginning of a new spiritual lifetime. And then there's always this ability to reincarnate, come back. So it's endings and beginnings. More messages kind of echoed here with this Death card. So for some of you, there could be some significant endings, lots of changes, right? This could be, again, similar to what I was saying with the World card. It could be an ending to a relationship, could be an ending to a significant chapter in your life, could be an ending to a habit or just a way of thinking. And we do have him next to this Hangman card. So here you were getting a new perspective. So maybe this is you ending certain mindset, a way of thinking about your finances, or thinking about if this was a relationship. But endings and beginnings, but it's all about changing and, this metamorphosis and growth and renewal. And what you're hoping, right, in your hopes and fears position, you have the Nine of Cups. This is the Wish Upon a Star card, right? In the Minor Arcana, the Nine of Cups is similar to the Star card. It's you. You can see that the woman, she's blowing the dandelion, right? The fluff is going up into the universe. It's you setting your intentions out, right? Setting them out into the universe, deciding what it is, maybe after gaining this new perspective, figuring out what this new thing is that you would like, setting your intentions, and you're wishing on a star. You're wishing for your dreams to come true, right? Those are your hopes. You're hoping for everything to work out, whether this is with the new career, it could be in a relationship. I mean, obviously it's going to play out many different ways for everybody watching, but this is you wishing and hoping for things to work out. And as you leave the month, you have some considerable decisions here ahead of you, right? And I was just looking back at the Chariot card, because both of these cards, to me, the Chariot and the Two of Wands, they both, for me, they represent, you taking control of the situation, you taking matters into your own hands. So with this Two of Wands appearing as you leave the month and, you're heading into the month of April, this is you looking down both paths, maybe because of all of these changes, because of all of the, everything that the clarity, the new beginnings, it's brought you to this position. And now you have, you have everything within your grasp. You are staring down the two paths and you're taking things into your hands to figure out which path is going to be the best for you. And so it's a card of decision, yes, but it's also, it's a card of authority, of power, of you taking power into your own hands, of you being very strong and making this decision and being fearless, right? And setting off on this new path, which with so many new beginnings, this makes complete sense as you head out of the month. So let's take a look at the two oracle cards that we have here. For these, I like to read the full meaning from the book. So for freedom, it says, let me just find it here. It says, your natural state of being is one of boundless freedom and joy. Don't suppress your God-given potential by weighing yourself down with other people's opinions or expectations. Get in the daily habit of setting the intention to be yourself and allow yourself to love who you show to the world. If you present a false face in order to feel accepted, you are doing a disservice to your soul and its mission. Embrace the freedom to be you, because anything else is giving away your power. But don't neglect the necessity of self-reflection and contemplation. Engaging in introspection affords you the opportunity to see your actions clearly and from a different perspective. We have the different perspective over here. When you begin to view your life objectively, an incredible feeling of empowerment and freedom overtakes you. In this awareness, you are able to identify how you reacted to various situations. Were your responses ego-based, or did you demonstrate compassion for another? Knowing this, you can be vigilant with respect to your reactions to any situation. This card doesn't mean you're at liberty to behave badly or with judgment. Instead, it gives you the freedom to let love and compassion be your guide. You are the sum of all positive, negative, and neutral experiences and behaviors. Good, bad, or indifferent, they have made you who you are today. So honor them all and learn from them. That's an interesting message. Okay. And card number 45 from the Soulful Woman deck is called Time of Fallow. So let me find it here. And it says, the times of fallow are peak periods for nurturing my soul and trusting my life path. The winters of my life, when people, projects, or passions have withered away, are opportunities for tapping into unseen resources within me. I honor my time of fallow as a spiritual time, a time to rest in the nurturing darkness. It is a time when the deep roots of my inner being are being nourished and replenished. When I enter the fallow time, I accept that there is no point in digging around trying to find the new buds. Fallow time calls for receptive stillness. I bring my presence to my body's needs, inner sensations, and changing moods. I tune into those things that replenish, restore, and nourish me. There is a greater potential for creative manifestation once I have nurtured myself and honored my time of fallow. And I think that it ties in with the Hangman card, which you do have, sort of as you move into the latter part of the month here. And it's all about, just like it says here, that there's no point in digging around trying to find new buds. It's about, receptive stillness, just like this. Oops, knocking over my crystals here. What is going on with the Hangman is receptive stillness, right? He knows that there's a reason for him being in this position, to gain the new perspective that's going to allow him to have these new beginnings. And there are lots of new beginnings as you head out of the month of March here. So looks like a good month for you. I do hope that the messages have helped you. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, please leave a like. If you'd like to comment it, I appreciate that as well. And I look forward to reading for you again next month. And just know that I'm sending you all much peace, love, and light for a wonderful rest of March. Bye for now.